Hey guys, this is Nick from ReviewOutlaw.com. Today I'm going to do the Segway versus the OneWheel.
ReviewOutlaw.com. New videos every Thursday at 3 p.m. Subscribe today.
So let me go through some of the basics. This is the OneWheel Pint. You can get it from OneWheel.com. We're putting it up against the Segway Ninebot S-Plus. That you can get on Amazon.com. I'll put a direct link in the show notes, so you're looking at the exact one that I got. The cost-wise, when I purchased the pint, was $7.99. That's since gone up because of COVID. So right now that's $9.50, but that might drop back down. That's the cost of the pint. And the current cost of the Segway right now is $7.79 on Amazon, and that's about where I got it. So the price comparison was about the same when I purchased it, which was around Christmas time. So let's talk about range. So range on the pint is going to be between 6 and 8 miles. I've gotten about 9 miles on that. I weigh about 175. It depends a lot on the terrain, because if you're going downhill, it's going to actually recharge your battery. So, or if it's a flat surface, it's going to go longer versus going up hills. Going up hills, the battery does get eaten pretty quick. So if you're going uphill the whole time, that will make it less. Also, your weight and then wind actually makes a big difference as well if you're going against the wind. The Segway's range is actually up to 22 miles. You do a max weight of 220 pounds. The top end, high end speed on the Segway is 12.5 miles per hour. And the top end speed on the pint is 16 miles per hour. So a lot faster on the OneWheel. One of the annoying things with the Segway that I didn't like, as you get close to the top end speed of 12.5, like around 11 miles per hour, the Segway starts beeping at you. It goes beep, 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 beep. And there's no way to disable that. It's a warning basically saying, hey, you're near the top end. If you kept leaning forward during that process, you'd actually fall face first and hit the pavement. So that's why it's warning you. But whereas the OneWheel doesn't make a noise, it actually kicks you back, and it has a motor and it pushes you back. So it's a better way to do it. It's less annoying, especially if you're going down the street and you're near the top end, because they're hearing that noise, people looking at you like you're making some kind of noise at them. So really did not like that with the Segway. That's a huge con. I like the Pint's version much better as far as warning you're near the top end speed. So as far as portability, I would say that the Pint also has it much more portable, has a handle built in. The weight is a little bit lighter. They're both pretty heavy, probably within 5 pounds of each other, around the 20 to 25 pound weight. But it's just smaller, it's more compact, easier to carry with. You could throw in a backpack, travel with it. The Pint you can actually put in a plane. It's the size that, and the battery's low enough so you could put it in an airplane with you. Although it'd be kind of weird to think you'd have to put it in carry-on. It'd be very complicated. With the Segway, you just couldn't do that. So portability, that wins the Pint. So let's talk about learning it for a bit. Learning each unit, I think it's actually much easier to learn the Segway, just because you're facing forward. It seems more natural versus going sideways. Now that depends a lot on if you're used to board sports like snowboarding, skateboarding, wakeboarding, anything with a board, surfing, you're gonna want to jump on the OneWheel. It just feels natural. First, if you're a skier, water skier, maybe a runner, just a walker, human who walks normally forward, the Segway is going to feel more natural to you because you're not putting your stance sideways. So I personally prefer the Segway stance because I'm into board sports a lot. But someone who's like a snow skier, that's going to feel unnatural for them to go sideways. They're not going to really understand how to move their shoulders, how to move their hips, how they want their head facing, and things like that. So that being said, it's a little bit like skiing and snowboarding. I think skiing as well, depending on your teacher and your skill level, you can pick it up quicker, but you kind of plateau as well, so that you get to a level where you can't do very many tricks with a Segway. Once you get up and get going, you can cruise around and you're pretty much done. where the OneWheel has an option for riding switch, basically moving your opposite legs. You can do spins and hops, and there's a lot of different tricks you can do with the OneWheel. So as far as after getting through the initial learning curve, I think that basically you can get a lot more advanced on the OneWheel. So as far as learning, this is someone who's just figuring out. It actually, both of them will, well, the Segway self-balances, which is cool. The OneWheel doesn't. You have to lean on it. You do always want to get a helmet at the beginning, probably always, but I did get thrown a lot off. Not the Segway so much, but the OneWheel, I did get thrown off. The thing with the Segway is you put one foot up and you put the other foot up. So for me, it was a bit awkward to get on it. And then you lean with your knees, and there's that piece in the middle there, and you lean that to the left and to the right. And as you can see, it gets a little bit out of control if you lean on that piece with the Segway. So it helps when you're first learning to kind of lean on someone or something, maybe a wall, maybe do in the basement, some carpeting if you're gonna fall, or just have someone kind of hold you. And that's both with the OneWheel and the Segway. It's something that you know you be careful about, because if you do fall, you can really hurt yourself. But after I think I rode my OneWheel for maybe 10 hours, I really didn't fall too much after that. And I did fall one time into a pothole. I just wasn't paying attention, and took the wheel and just threw it. And that was probably my worst fall. But for the most part, once you get past the initial 10 hours of learning curve, they're pretty fun. There are some limitations with the Segway. As you can see, I have 2 wheels. So if you're going through like city streets, sidewalks, things like that, that's going to be much harder to do. We did bring the Segway out to the beach. It did work on the harder packed sand, so it actually did work. It was pretty fun. But you know, I wouldn't do that a lot. With the OneWheel, it seems more rugged. You can bring the OneWheel on grass. The Segway in grass, not so great. The Segway off-road, really not good at all. The Segway is pretty much just for asphalt, or like in a basement, carpets and things like that. And it's actually one of the funnest things if you have downstairs a basement and carpet, zip around and stuff like that. But after a bit, you know, it's not so great. Bike paths are great on the Segway, and they're also great with the OneWheel. Depending on the bike path you're at, sometimes they allow it, sometimes they don't. For the most part, I've passed police and things like that. They're actually really interested by both. I think it's cool. The coolness factor on both of them, definitely get a lot more, ooh, what's that? Oh, that's really cool, on the OneWheel versus the Segway, probably because you see a lot of like, I don't know, mall security or TSA kind of people have the Segways. So it's kind of already been seen a lot, where the OneWheel is kind of newer. It looks almost like you're floating. It's a bit different. So you get more of a wow factor, I think, from the OneWheel. Alright, so I've gone over a lot of the different features, pluses, minuses, portability, just the ride of it. Now, all in all, I think you're not going to go wrong with either one. I think a lot of it's going to be personal preference. If you're going to want to go faster, you know, the OneWheel would be probably the better bet. The Segway has a lot of cool pluses as well. I mean, you have to trust both devices. You know, when you lean forward, it feels like you're going to fall, right? So you have to trust the technology is going to work. It's not going to just stop in the middle of the ride and give you a face plant. So, you know, either one you're going to have to get used to, just understanding the technology, what are its limits, be ready to kind of come off and fall off, but you know, you have to trust it. But all in all, I think that they're both really good picks. My personal pick would be the OneWheel Pint. It's a little bit more technical. It's going to take you longer to learn it initially, but I think it's going to be funner. You're going to use it more, and then eventually you could go up to the XR, which is the next step up, longer range, a little bit more room on your feet, more comfortable, I feel. I do really like the Pint, though. It has a really snowboardy feel. So if you're a snowboarder, if you're a kiteboarder, again, if you do any board sports, it's a great way to practice riding switch and things like that. That way, when you go up to the mountain or you're trying some new tricks out, you know, kiteboarding, things like that, you'll already have kind of that balance and that foot strength built up, and you'll be ready to go try those new tricks. But maybe if you're someone who just like a skier, really not into that kind of board sports, then the Segway might be a better pick for you. And, you know, for whatever reason, maybe what's nice is you can actually use them together. So if you have one person who's into to kind of skiing, they might have the Segway, and then somebody else who's more of a boarder style, they're going to have the one wheel, and you can pretty much ride next to each other the whole time. Again, one of the annoying things though, if you go top speed, is that it's going to be that beeping. I wish they would disable that with like a software feature. I understand why they do it, it's just a little bit annoying. They do have faster Segways that are going to be more money, so that might be an option to upgrade if that was an issue for you. Hey, I really appreciate you watching this video. If you have time, please give me a thumbs up, share the video on Facebook or social media, click that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit that bell icon next to the subscribe button so you get a notification when new videos come out. Finally, if you leave me a comment, I love those. Really appreciate it. Have a great day, guys.